This is the greatest team in Football Manager history, apparently. I've been on the search for the greatest, most impressive Football Manager squads that you guys have ever built. And let me tell you, some of these that have been submitted, they're incredible. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at a few and hopefully unearth the best FM squad ever. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. Today we start in this save here, one of the most requested, suggested saves when we're looking for the best FM squad team that's ever been created. It was Lelujo's, Kevin Chapman's Chelsea team from this year's beta period, the early access period of FM24, and Kev was busy building this, and I felt like we had to include it in today's video where we're trying to unearth the best squads in Football Manager history. We're going to go back to other versions of Football Manager because I've asked you guys to submit your best ever teams, and I've had a look through them and picked out 5 for today's video. I want your help as well. I want you to help me decide, is one of these the best ever, or do we need to keep going with our search? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below, and maybe we'll give them a little bit of a rating as we go through. Let's start in FM24 then. It's recent, so maybe we'll have that recency bias. Maybe we'll understand these players. As I'm looking through the squad, I mean, he has built a good team. I don't think that's something that we can debate here. This was where he went crazy with the spending he did the Your World, I believe, the Your World, and then did Chelsea. So they didn't sign all the players they actually signed in the summer. Kev went and did this all over again. And this is what he ended up with. The keeper is Diogo Costa. If we go through the players, first of all, Costa, we've got Reece James still there. We've got Araujo as the right centre-back. Mark Gahey as the left centre-back. And then Guardiola, brought in from Chelsea. We're in 2026 here, so only 3 years into the future. How much you buying Man City players for? Oh, this is before he went to City because of the Your World database, or game mode, I should say. £110 million spent on Guardiola then to play him left-back. Enzo, Bellingham, of course, Yeremy Pino, who I love, Musiala, Fati, and then Erling Haaland is playing up front. Now, he would have actually had to sign Haaland. He cost 400. Right. I knew he spent a lot of money on Haaland, but 450 million seems excessive. 24 goals in 21 league games, though, 36 in all comps. I assume he won the league this year. He's removed himself as the manager, so I've just added myself as manager of Manchester United so that I could see. Yeah, he got 99 points with 3 draws, 3 losses. Did lose to Villa twice, who weirdly seem to have Kev's number there with 2-2-1 wins against them. But 99 points, not terrible. It's pretty good. I go as far as saying, let's just see the history as well. I want to see some landmarks in here. This is what he managed to win, because maybe when we're thinking about, is this the best team ever, the best squad ever? What did they win? Maybe it comes down to that. And of course, we're going to see some saves that go way into the future with new gen players as well. But this is one I tried to pick a bit of a mix. This is one that has real players that is quite fresh. It's on this year's game, and it's only 3 years in. So Champions League winners this year, a 3-0 win against AC Milan in the final. Pretty comprehensive. AC Milan had 1 shot and it was on target. So the keeper made a save there, but yeah, that was comprehensive. It is the exact team I think we've just seen, isn't it? Haaland scored a penalty, Musiala, and then Pino with the other goals. And he also didn't win the FA Cup, but did win the league. FA Cup final losers against Manchester United. My Manchester United in this particular save. I don't know why I chose those. I'm a Liverpool fan. That was weird, wasn't it? Anyway, those are the things that he did go and win. It was Carabao Cup, FA Cup, Club World Championship 3rd place, Community Shield, Prem, FA Cup. Go back to the squad just to see. That's my squad where I've not picked a team, obviously. Just want to see the other players in the squad as well, I suppose. We've got Kevin De Bruyne's in there. Did sign Caicedo. Kevin De Bruyne's in there. Endrick, Bargy. I'm just looking at some of the stats on these as well. Evan Ferguson was a big money signing, I assume. That was £70 million. Fikayo Tomori is back at Chelsea. Lamine Yamal was signed. For how much did he cost? 28 million. That seems like a bargain. Osimhen's in there. I mean, that's one way to get me win favour with me and get some extra points. Victor Osimhen being in the team. Nico Williams, Levi Colwill, Camille Grabara, ex-Liverpool goalkeeper as the backup there. That's a fun one. And I do just want to finish up by looking at the transfer history here because this is why. Look at the players sold. I mean, Ward-Prowse is in there, Gravenberch, but look how much money's been spent. 450 of that, of course, on Erling Haaland. Ronald Araujo's in there, 38.5 million on De Bruyne. Let's go back as well. 660 million spent the year before. 250 million part exchange. Who was exchanged? Nkunku went to Real Madrid. Jamal Musiala for 225 million pounds part exchange. Gonçalo Ramos went the other way. Yeah, some serious money. 1.16 billion. 1.16 billion spent first season. And kind of on like loads of players for less, all of them less than 100 million as well. At least up front. Caicedo, Guardiola, Fati, Osimhen, all of the players that we've looked at before, right? This is a ridiculous save. Is this team here, is this squad here the best ever squad in FM history? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. I don't know what these ratings mean, but you can take that to the bank. Let's move through to the next one. Before we do go to the next one, sorry to interrupt, but I just have to stop here and say thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I want to do loads of these fun videos where I look at your saves. We've had a look at some of your tactics from this year's game. We've had a look at some of your saves for the beta period. I like kind of just chatting about the way that you guys are playing the game. And I feel like you guys can see what other people are doing and pick up some tips and some tricks. And I think it's just fun. It's good community stuff. So I want to do more of this, as well as all the usual stuff that we do, like the movies. There's another movie that we are working on at the moment. So please do subscribe to the channel. Let's get back into these ridiculous Football Manager teams. For the next one, we're going to jump into FM23, and it's Matthew's Carlisle United save, where they appear to be playing at a stadium called Simo Shed at this stage in 2048 with Carlisle United. I'm just not going to ask any more questions about this, but having a look at this save, it's stupid how good it is, really. It is now 2048, as I mentioned, and I just look along this timeline here to notice how many years in a row Matt is winning the Premier League with Carlisle. He won it for the first time in 2035-36, then finished second, and then hasn't not won it since then in every single season so far. We're going to have a look at this squad here, which is going to be entirely made up of new gen players. I feel like you may well find the best ever FM squad when you're looking at just new gens, because they can become so ridiculous. I'm sure you've experienced it yourselves in your own saves, right? I'm going to have a look at these players individually one by one. I've had a look as well at what Matt said when he was submitting this save. He specifically pointed out Rosa as the striker, as somebody who scores a lot of goals. We'll have a look at him in a second. I just want to say as well, because I know what's going to come, because I know what the YouTube comments are like, but I know that the editor pen is here. I do not care if you submit your saves and you've used the editor. I genuinely do not care. We're better than that. We're not going to point it out. We're not going to throw shade at people. We're better than that. So be better than that. And we're going to take this one we're going to take every save at the person's words, because I don't want to see save scumming or editor, whatever. We're having fun. So just I felt like I had to tell you off a bit like a teacher there, but you've done nothing wrong so far, but be good. Be better than throwing shade at people. Anyway, let's have a look at this squad, because regardless of whether the editor has been used to do anything, whatever it might be, maybe it was to change the stadium name. I genuinely don't actually know. I'm going to choose to just have a look at how good the team is. That's what we're looking at here. How good are these players? And I mean, just looking at the rollability stars here, it's always nice when they look good. I'm a little bit intrigued by Paolo Roberto in this midfield and why. I'm going to need to do all these because I'm like the skin I've got on here. Okay, he's being converted to a central midfielder, probably because there's so many good players in this team. Is he actually training as a centre mid? He's actually training as an inside forward, but maybe being played in here. Not sure. Either way, he's being used as a CM attack with this ridiculous, I think it's an overpowered nap tactic, which again, we're not throwing shade. We're having fun. Relax, everybody. Some of these players look outrageous. Let's go through them. We've got Noah van Aerschot as the goalkeeper. Just so many greens. My greens are just the standard ones, by the way, the colours of the attributes. So any greens on here are 15 plus, 16 plus. Yeah, 16 plus. And he's got a lot of them. He is 30 years old on 350k a week, signed for 71 million from Bayern Munich to Carlisle. He is going to be one of the better goalkeepers I think we're going to see. Right back, we've got Hernani Mendes, who's an either-footed fullback. Can he cross? No. I just feel like we're going to see this a lot. The best fullbacks and wingbacks that you can find, they still can't cross it. I've experienced this myself as well, but he looks good. Either-footed is quite fun. Is he? Yeah, he's stronger on his right-hand side, which is probably why he's playing here. Left back, we have Luan Gonçalves Filho. I feel like his name's... Why does his name look strange here? Why has he got a B there? Click to view Brazil. Okay, I don't know. I think that might be a a skin thing, perhaps. I just wondered why that was there. Luan Gonçalves Filho is a very good looking left back. He looks nice. I mean, let's just look at the best players in here. Robert Ewald is the centre back, 6'3", German. A lot of German players I think we've seen so far, and Brazilians and Portuguese players. An Englishman in Levant Gench. He's fully English. He's born in Corby. That's that's a very intriguing name for someone just born in England. He's got like the swirly bit on the end of his C there. Definitely not the technical name there. We've looked at him. Andro as a ball winning midfielder in here. Again, point out if you see things on these players that you're like, you miss this, get them in the comments down below. Andro is a Spanish midfielder. Paulo Roberto we looked at before being retrained. I mean, he's an insane inside forward. Maybe he's not being retrained and it was just for this particular game, because look how good he would be from that right hand side, now playing in centre mid, because Bertrand is playing on the right. French Bertrand, I should probably say. Wonder kid. Maybe he's being brought in to develop whilst, you know, try to force him some game time, because he's a little bit younger and maybe not quite as good yet. But maybe on the other side, this or in the middle here, Vojna, another player with an interesting surname for a purely English player, Dennis Vojna. Interesting. He's very good though. 20 decisions, 19 passing, 18 technique. That is like your ultimate attacking midfield playmaker. He's also known, the media description is legendary attacking midfielder. He's played 445 games for this team. 190 goals in that time as well. Not from striker. What a player. Alves on the left-hand side. Good Lord. Yeah, this team is serious. Cesar Alves. And then up front, the main man apparently, it's Gabriel Rosa, who apparently has scored a shed load of goals at Simo Shed. 402 in 436 appearances. Yeah, truly one of world football's global superstars. What a man, what a player, wanted by Barcelona. Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's just have a quick look at some of the spending, how much money's been spent here. Relatively routine, that 104 million, 64 million, 137 million, 244, but lots of money coming in actually. This season only spent 11 million. It's not crazy with the spending. At least not compared to Lelujo's Chelsea save, that is. Anyway, the last thing I want to look at for Matthew's Carlisle save here is if we go to the landmarks on the history here, that is managers. Oops. The landmarks, what has he won in this time? Just scrolling down through there has to be a Champions League win in here. There is. There's one there. There is another one. Runners up this year. We've got another Champions League here in 2045. In fact, let's go to the Champions League because that's kind of what we're looking at. We know how many Premier Leagues he's won. Let's have a look at the past winners of the Champions League. Carlisle, PSG, Carlisle. Any more before that? Do you know what? I only started winning the Champions League relatively recently. In the first one coming in 2043-44 and then won it 3 times in the past 4 years. But you know what? Maybe he's on course to win it this year as well. I'm going to give this save an 8. I don't know why. Again, I don't really know what goes into these ratings, but this one's going to get an 8. It's so far the best team I've ever seen in FM out of the 2 we've looked up. Let's go through to the next one. We are staying in FM23 for my third team of today's video, and this is Nikki's PSG team. I know what you're thinking. PSG, that's easy to get a great team. However, there were some rules taken into account for this particular save. Nikki has gone for an entirely French save for PSG, and he says the prices spent on players are frankly ridiculous, but we won 4 Champions Leagues, 3 of which were in a row. So, I mean, we can let him off potentially for doing a PSG save. Is that the ultimate crime in FM? It might be up there. Maybe there's a few other ones. Maybe that could be a video in itself. But more importantly, they became World Cup winners with France, and the squad was entirely PSG players minus the backup goalkeeper. So I just want to see actually the France squad, which this should be a French flag, but I've taken out all of my my graphics and stuff to put it into the new games, which is why we don't have some of the player pictures and photos and some of the flags and badges, etc. But the French team, if we go to competitions, they were World Cup winners in 2030. Can I have a look at that final? I think that might be the final there, right? Here is, I can't look at it, but this France team apparently that's won the World Cup was mainly made up of PSG players. Look, maybe there's been 1 or 2 that have, since that's happened, has been replaced. But look, just look how many PSG players are in this squad. And that's what Nicky has built. And that's potentially why he thinks this is the best team in FM history, because they don't just win domestic trophies, they win international ones as well. Let's have a look at the 11 back on the tactics screen here and go through them, because I feel like there's going to be some fun ones. Although that's the front. Is that the French? Oh, it's because Nicky's the French manager as well. Makes sense. That's also why then maybe there's so many PSG players in there, because he was choosing them. But I guess he won the World Cup, so you can't really argue with it. Let's have a look at the team then. There are some real players in here. We've got Mike Maignan in goal, who in 2031 here is looking pretty good. Excuse the fact that he doesn't have a photo. That's because I've gone back on an old FM, as I said before. We've got a right back called Victor Ballester, who is maybe the lowest rated according to the coaches on here, and according to the star rating, but looked pretty good. We've got William Saliba, so a real player at centre-back, alongside another real player in Bit Shiabu, to try and say his name correctly there. I mean, look how good he is. I love the physicals, and he's left-footed playing on the left. Saliba's right-footed playing on the right there. Tio Hernandez, another unbelievable player in real life as well, playing at left wing back, or complete wing back on the left. We've got Chouameni, Camavinga, and a new gen called Dumont in the midfield. I feel like let's focus on Dumont here, because he's a new gen, and we know that Camavinga and Chouameni are amazing. I wonder how much was spent, although Nicky actually said he spent a lot of money on this, didn't he? Dumont looks great. We've got Matthias Tal on the right-hand side as a Raumdeuter, which is fun. Mbappe on the left-hand side. We know how good Kylian Mbappe is, now 32 years old here. And then a striker called Payne, or Pan. Laurent Bread. You know, I've done some translation there. Yeah, he's good. Elite striker. He's got like the trifecta that all strikers need. The dribbling, finishing, first touch here. He's got the pace and the agility as well on this side. Yeah, he's really good. Did Nicky say anything else about the players on here? He said best players were Laurent Pan, or Laurent Bread. Frank Dumont we looked at. Mbappe, and Wesley Fofana apparently was really good. Although we've not seen Wesley Fofana, but he's down here, look. I'm sure the bench as well has some incredible players. Is this better than some of the teams we've looked at? I'm going to give it an extra point. In fact, I'm going to give it an extra 0.1. That's how generous I'm going to be. Because of winning the World Cup with your own team, basically, I think that's something that not a lot of people would have done before. Not a lot of teams would have done before. So I'm going to give this an 8.1. Am I making up this rating system as I go along? Yes, I am. On to the next one. So for the next one, we are back another year now. This is FM22, and it's the Arsenal team created by Gambling Blues. Arsenal becoming dominant in this save. It's actually looking quite nice, this FM22 setup that I've got going on. The game looks good in 22. Anyway, let's not get distracted by that. Apparently, according to Gambling, this team here is a little bit transitional. It was the year before this that his greatest ever team was created. So maybe we'll have a look at the results from last year. But let's go through the team and the players in this squad here. The goalkeeper, I mean, again, we've got the lovely rollability stars just showing how good these players are down the side here. It's before the season kicks off, so we haven't got any results or like stats to look at here. 2031 is the year, and apparently this is a multiple Premier League, multiple Champions League winning team, and there are some familiar names in here too. The goalkeeper is a new gen. His name is Bartosz Kubiak, who is a German goalkeeper, 6'3", and looks good. I feel like we're going to say that quite a lot by looking at these players, but I do want to show you them because that's kind of the point, isn't it? I'm sorry that I don't have a lot else to add other than, yeah, he's really good. But they are really good. Let's go through the other outfield players then. We've got a right back who is Turkish with a huge value. Look at the mentals on him. 20 bravery. He's actually, I mean, yeah, again, he's really good. I like the tackling on him. He is another fullback that can kind of cross, but can't really. 10 crossing on him. Let's have a look at the left back. It's Nuno Mensch. Nuno Mensch can actually cross. So that's maybe the way to go. If you're going to create the best ever team, maybe you hold off on replacing the fullbacks or wingbacks, because all of the new gen ones can have incredible physicals, but sometimes can't cross. So maybe getting someone like Nuno Mendes in your team is the way to do it. He's a beast. Gabriel still being here is fun at 33 years old. Is that maybe meaning the team's lacking a little bit? Surely you could have upgraded at some point on Gabriel, but maybe sentimentality has played a part there. His partner at the back is Christian De La Rosa, a Mexican central defender, 6'3" he is, and yeah, very aggressive, great positioning, really nice physicals, the stamina and strength on here. He's excellent. Iliax Mariba, somebody who hasn't quite reached his potential in real life, has he? He's not as good on this year's game either. On previous FMs, as we can see here, he was incredible. Look how well-rounded he is. Technicals, mentals, physicals. Yeah, he's got them all. He's very, very good. Declan Rice as well. We know how good he is in real life, but how good. Number 1. I'm sorry, but I've just deducted 0.1 off your score because why is Declan Rice your number 1? That's a crime. You should be locked up. Maybe I'm overreacting, but that's surely criminal. Bukayo Saka is pretty good. Ansu Fati, very, very good. He's developed nicely, actually. He's now 28 years old and looking like a real beast. The striker, Ogunsanya, Ajibade Ogunsanya, an English striker with not the best physicals, but those are incredible mentals on there. I'm sure he would score goals because of those mentals. And then Yusufa Mokoko as his striker. We know what he can become. Jude Bellingham's in there as well. Charles de Ketelaere is in there. So I'm sure some of these players in this are also going to be good. Before we move on, though, I do want to have a look at the previous year's games because this is apparently when it was the team that was the best team. There's a lot of green in here. Champions League finalists, but losers, though. Is that going to take away some points too? Possibly. Although this is incredible. There's some big wins in here I'm seeing too. There's an 8-2 win against AZ Alkmaar in there. I will quickly have a look. If we go to the team here, have a look at some of the landmarks to see what we did win. We were Champions League runners-up then. When was the last time we won the Champions League? It was the year before, 2030. They did win the Champions League. They did win it also 5 years in a row. So maybe you've got some of those points back there. That's pretty good, isn't it? Premier League as well. I do want to check how many years in a row here. So the past 4 seasons, then United won it. 2 seasons before that, you won it. United won it as well in between. So there's 1, 2, is that 1 there? I've lost count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Premier League wins. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Overall, though, what do you reckon? A good team? I reckon 7.5, 7.4. I've taken an extra one off because of Declan Rice being number 1. 7.4. Last one. Let's go to it. And finally, I've gone all the way back to FM20 to show you this last team. And this one was created by me. You didn't think I was going to do a video without showing off one of my saves, right? This is my historic FM20 Hertha Berlin save, and I just wanted to share it with you. We won't spend too long it, but just have a look at how good this team was that we built. It was all conquering. We won the Champions League. We won the Bundesliga. I'll just show you here. Quite a few years in a row. We won it between 2022-23 all the way up until 2030-31, which is the year that we're in right at this point here. And just look at the star ratings. I think it makes a difference for how nice and how good your team kind of looks, even though they're just star ratings and you shouldn't pay attention to them. But I think it's important. Let's quickly have a look at some of the players, and I'll just point out some of my favourites because I know you're not going to vote for this one because this is my save, so it doesn't matter, does it? But there were some incredible players in this. The goalkeeper, Christian Sassoni, was unbelievable. 27 years old. He was the Italian goalkeeper. I want to show you as well. Actually, on the bench, we had the England #1 goalkeeper, who I was England manager, and I got him to take the penalties. So he's got 12 goals in 49 caps. Can any of the other saves say that? For the best team, you've got a penalty scoring goalkeeper on the bench, so that's pretty good. Davide Costantino, just to let you know as well, these are new gen players, but I added a real face to them because I'm strange like that. He was unbelievable at right back. We had Marco Aurelio, Luciano Alenia centre backs, but they were just okay. Just wanted to show you Julinho Cha. Have a look at his physicals. I mean, he couldn't cross. It's another new gen wing back that can't cross, but he's got very good physicals. Very physical man. Defensive midfielder Rijkaard. Carsten Rijkaard was great. This guy, a beast. 6'5", a pure German midfielder. He's got 20 balance as well, despite being 6'5". He was, he's incredible. I spent quite a lot of money on him, I think. Over 100 million, 144 million pounds to sign him from Barcelona. And I think he was worth every penny. Pilavsky was good. We had the most injured player in world football ever in Marcelo Bianchi, who I signed, then sold, and then signed back. Sold him for 150 million. But look at his injury history. So injured all of the time. But what a hero he was. I mean, I just loved him, and that's why, even though he's literally injured right now, of course he is. We had Kylian Mbappe. That's Kylian Mbappe. We had Aliou Diallo, who was a great striker. Look at those attributes. 19s and 18s and 17s absolutely everywhere. Then on the bench, the god that was Igor Kilman. If you know, you know. He is a big part of my history playing Football Manager. One of my favourite ever players I've ever managed. I love him. The Belarusian sniper, Igor Kilman. He was great. And also, just to finish off, Dirk Sprint. Hero, legend, rubbish player, but legend. We also had Szoboszlai and Haaland and all sorts, and we won all sorts of things. How many Champions Leagues was it to finish off? What's the best way to show you that? If I go to Club Info, go to History Competitions, Champions League winners in 26, 28, 29, 30 and 31. So if we won it in 27, that would have been nice, but we didn't. What a team. Anyway, that's where we'll end that one up. That team gets a 10 because I made it. Although I know you're not going to pay attention to that one, are you? Let me know what you think of these teams in the comments down below. Who was your favourite? Which one did you think was the best? Do you think you've got a team that is better than some of these? The link to submit your teams is going to be in the description of today's video and in the pinned comments. So if you think you've got a better team, do submit it. I've got another 25, 30 submissions that we could look through. So I feel like this is going to have to be a little bit of a series where we find the best team ever. Let's look at more in a follow-up video after this one. If this one goes down well and you guys enjoy it, let me know you enjoy it by liking the video. Leave me in the comments down below. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel. No, most importantly, have a lovely rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.